She's a one-woman machine of a cop who's got a reputation of getting the job done.
Caw! If it ain't a most cracking of a crusty dragon, I've dug out me fanny.
You loved Bob's Your Uncle too.
No, I didn't.
We didn't have the budget to make the first one, so we went right into the sequel. Now we tell the tale you've been waiting for. It's the prequel to Bob's Your Uncle 2, Bob's Your Uncle 1, Tickety Kablooey.
That's right, you balmy gits. I'm back, and I'm as manky as ever.
Stinker Madness brings you an intro to the podcast like you've never seen.
It's a podcast, so they can't see anything.
Exactly. She's Barbara Lancaster, and she's a spot of tea to crime.
I can't believe me minces. That Roger's either Hank Marvin or that's the biggest dauber on a pot and pan on the Owl of Earth.
Damn it, Barbara. Your loose cannon tactics may have worked back in the old country, but here in the mean streets of New York and the good old US of A, we do things by the book.
Don't throw a wobbler, love. I bodge it up right. I sister the CV, my lord.
Damned if you don't. I won't lie. You're the best cop I've ever seen. But I need to keep your skills for justice and destruction in check, or the mayor will be up my ass in the morning.
Sweet Fanny Adams, you're snogging arse over tits, you is.
That's why you got a new partner. Lancaster, let me introduce you to Veronique Monchavation.
Hello, I am French, no? En règle générale, les jurés de rugby snot plus barouts que les jureurs de foot.
Maybe not.
And that's why you got a new partner. Lancaster, let me introduce you to Officer B.F. Goodlord. He's 6.5 feet of Hungarian and Italian. He's worked for the KGB and the CIA at the same time. He assassinated the mayor of Des Moines and then took over the job for a year. He vacations in the Amazon and eats snakes and spiders for breakfast, face first. He's got shoes bigger than most people's legs, and his track record is a sub-4-minute mile and a 22-foot triple jump. His voice sounds like broken glass and steel piping in a meat grinder, but you'll never hear it because it's lower than the human ear can process. He's one hell of a cop, and your new chaperone.
I buggered off more balmy through me bum. Maybe I'll see if he can handle the dog's dinner keeping me knickers. How about we have a bonk? Or you've not big enough ghoulies? I'm not up the duff, if you're a punter. Oops, was that me? I've grimmed up me Eddie Grundys, I have. I'm off to see a man about a dog.
My God, Lancaster, you've done it again. You've made your partner die from disgust. Well, you know what they say, God save the Queen. Am I right? Am I right?
Bob's Your Uncle 2, Bob's Your Uncle 1, Tickety Kablooey.
Hey, what's this button do?
Oh God, don't touch that!
Only on Stinker Madness.
Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. We got the Stinker Madness.
Hello and welcome to Stinker Madness, the podcast about bad movies for bad movie lovers by bad movie lovers. I'm your host, Justin. With me are Sam and Jackie. Hello, Jackie.
Hello.
Good Britishing earlier. It was fine.
That's right. Oh my God.
Oi.
My British accent sucks so bad.
Not as bad as your French.
Oh, vas le play. I'd like to go sailing, that's what that means.
Right. Exactly. Sam, how's life in the fast lane?
It's pretty slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The roads are covered in snow and
Snow
ice.
and ice, yeah.
So you can't go very fast.
We can't leave our house.
That's true. We're trapped here.
Good thing we went to the liquor store.
Indeed. You gotta always have my drink. We've got a movie from you this week, Sam. It's called Odds and Evens, which probably not very many people are going to be very familiar with.
I guess not, even though they should be, because the Bud Spencer and the Terrance Hill are sort of like the essence of the buddy picture.
All right.
They did 20 of them.
That's a lot.
So I'll get to in the my BBS.
All right. Well, since it's your week, we're going to let you have the wild card. But up first, I've got a little bit of listener feedback.
Ooh, it's about how wonderful I am, isn't it?
This is from Owen our good friend from Australia and host of the Bad Movie Sunday on Twitter.
Hey, mate.
It's worse than your English. It's terrible.
Follow them at Bad Movie Sunday on Twitter. He says, Justin, Sam, and Queen Jackie.
Yes, somebody acknowledged my royal heritage.
Longtime subscriber, first-time emailer, many a time tweeter. So tonight, as it's Sunday where we live, Australia, it was Bad Movie Sunday. With it being the season to be jolly, I forced my wife to watch Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas.
Oh.
Oh, no.
One of our fans commented this on one of tonight's posts, which you can see on Twitter and Facebook. Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas, subtitled, "If it ain't broke, fix it until it is." A truer tagline has never been riffed. Kirk's brother-in-law is having a crisis of biblical proportion regarding the over-commercialization of Christmas and wondering if it's about the adopted pagan rituals or still about the baby Jesus. For the majority of the film, they are in the car where His Holiness Kirkus Cameron proceeds to assure him that Xmas trees, the 25th of December, known not to be Jeebus's birthday, and even jolly old Saint Nick all be part of the Bible, while bending the words to his own interpretation of what this fairy tale reads. Spoilers, which is fine because we can't recommend anybody watch this movie.
No, you
ever.
don't watch it.
Kirk's wise words convinces his brother-in-law that all is good in the world with the way Christmas is celebrated because it's the way of the Lord, i.e. Kirk Cameron saves Christmas. Well, he didn't save it. There wasn't anything to fucking save, you pretentious twat.
Yeah, if you're just saying everything's fine.
Yes.
Fucking douche.
Just like Napoleon Dynamite, it ends with a dance scene, but in this case, it doesn't drive the storyline due to the fact there is no story to be driven, except off a fucking cliff. So to finish off, what does KCSing bring to the world? Atheism. It brings atheism. With my wife on the most agnostic side and myself on the atheistic side, we both agree that this so-called film are the ramblings of a madman who loved the sound of his own voice. I do suggest this to be watched, if not only to solidify your non-belief or your faith, but to see his Kirkness do the worm during the dance scene. Yes, he does the worm. Was that not one of the 10 Commandments? Love the show. It was one of the first podcasts I listened to when I first discovered podcasts. Thanks for the countless laughs and recommendations, even if you don't like good movies like Repo, the Genetic Opera. Thanks, Owen. Bad Movie Sunday. Quite the letter from Owen.
Yeah, he's right, though. It's just like it's Kirk Cameron saves Christmas, and he doesn't do anything except, everything's fine with Christmas, buddy boy.
It's really not a film.
No, it's a sermon that's shitty.
It sucks so bad. I disagree, Owen. No one should watch
No one should watch it.
It's too painful. Jackie?
I don't want to relive it.
Thank you. Good call. On streaming do's and don'ts, some that we potentially might recommend. First off, I watched... Oh, no, Jackie helped me halfway through this one. It's called Icebreaker. Sam, you ever heard of a movie called Icebreaker?
Yes, Icebreaker with Samwise Gamgee
Correct.
And Ash from the Evil Dead movies.
Correct. And Stacy Keach!
And Stacy Keach. And no more birthdays.
Yeah. With a lineup like that, wow, you would think that this movie would not have been made by the Asylum.
Yeah, direct to me. It's one of their earlier movies, too.
This thing is real bad.
It is
a
bad,
terrible
yeah.
film.
Did you watch the Riff Tracks version?
I watched the Riff Tracks version
Okay.
with Amazon Prime because this is pretty much unavailable anywhere else. Jackie,
Yeah.
you remember the first half of this?
I don't remember this movie at all.
It's where Sean Astin's the ski doofus on, like, he's a lodge bro, and Bruce Campbell's a terrorist that has a bomb or something. Or plane crashes with some loot on it, and so Bruce Campbell and his team of dipshits go on top of the mountain and hold everybody hostage. And Stacy Keach is there talking about timeshares.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I didn't really watch this.
Yeah.
I ignored it and played Tap Tap.
Yeah.
Because I came into the middle of it.
Okay. All right. I did not enjoy this.
Really? Because you watched the Riff Tracks version of it.
I was seriously disappointed.
Huh.
I just didn't think it was funny.
Yeah, I have not seen the Riff Tracks. I saw
Icebreaker.
just Icebreaker, the
Yeah,
movie,
yeah.
with a friend of the program, Roman, and he and I had a nice time with it.
Really? All right. What did you guys like?
I think we were just really able to make fun of it consistently throughout the whole thing.
See-
and then the final ski scene was so retarded that I was actually laughing pretty good at that.
This is one of those films where I would have liked to have seen it without riff tracks.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen it with a couple dudes and just had a really good time like you just described.
Yeah.
I can't in fair conscience give it a don't without riff tracks because I haven't seen it that way. But I didn't enjoy it on riff tracks.
Okay. I enjoyed it without, so.
There you go. That's a
So
sort of-
that's a very odd, maybe,
And
because
this is the I didn't pay attention.
yeah. And I don't even think it was called Icebreaker when it was on Netflix. I think it had a different title, like Sub-Zero or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Speaking of Netflix, we all watched this one. Vehicle 19 with Paul Walker from 2009, I want to say. Or maybe it was later than that.
No, it was later. It was made right
2012.
before they made
Yeah.
Lock, I thought. Just 'cause
Yeah.
It's about the same idea.
He's in a car the entire movie. It's a rental car, and he finds a gun and a curious cell phone that calls and is like, "Hey, did you do the job?" And he's like, "What the fuck? I just rented this car, bro." And then goes on. There's a lady in the trunk, hostage lady in the trunk. And he's like, "What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
I'm just a car rental guy." Jackie, your thoughts on Vehicle 19?
I thought it was kind of confusing for me. I don't know why. I just couldn't follow the storyline to figure out what the hell was going on.
Mm-hmm. I think that's part of the point.
And
You're supposed to be lost like he
Yeah.
is.
yeah, I mean, well, they did that pretty well then because I was pretty lost. But overall, I did enjoy it.
Really? Okay.
I mean, maybe it's just my sentimentalness for Paul Walker, but
Yeah.
thought he did a pretty good job.
All right, Sammy.
I mean, even if the hostage lady did get shot.
All right, Sammy.
I just hate real-time movies,
Uh-huh.
and I hate most confinement films so much that this had both of those things, but I didn't truly hate it.
Mhm.
I don't know if I liked it, though.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, like, for what it is, good enough job making the sort of movie I hate.
Mhm.
I didn't hate it.
I bet you
but-
it didn't cost a whole lot.
No, it didn't. I mean, the budgetary concerns and what they are, they did a fine job, but it's just not for me.
Okay. All right. It is not for me either. I did really like Locke a lot. I thought it was fantastic, but we're talking about Tom Hardy versus Paul Walker. And no offense to Sir Paul Walker. You're no Tom Hardy, buddy.
No,
You're
he's not.
great in stupid action movies. I thought it wasn't very interesting. I kind of thought that he was in a role that he wasn't built for, and I didn't enjoy it. So I'm going to give it a don't.
Yeah.
Last but not least, I watched this by myself. Now, I've been wanting to watch this for a long time, and I keep delaying because I can't find a copy of it that doesn't involve Mystery Science Theater, so I did the Mystery Science Theater version of it finally. Outlaw of Gore, also known as Gore 2!
Yeah, I've seen Gore 2.
Oh, yeah. You guys, we all watched Gore 1. We all didn't
Gore
like
2's the, that gets pretty misogynistic in the second one, I kind of recall.
it. There's lots of scantily clad
Well,
women.
like
very scantily.
Really gets into the idea of women should just be sex slaves.
Yeah, I could
Unless I'm
subscribe to
mistaking
that.
it with Gore 3.
There's some lady wrestling going
Yeah.
on for the entertainment of men. Jack Palance is also in it. He wears a very stupid hat.
Yeah.
There's the beginning. What's the guy's name that comes into Planet Gore?
I don't know. Because it's like, Gore's basically like the misogynist John Carter.
Pretty much.
I started watching this with you.
Yeah, you. I don't think you made it to the end.
I think I zonked out.
Yeah. So it's the same concept as Gore 1.
Yes.
This guy from Earth goes to Planet Gore, and they're like, "Yay, you're our leader." And Jackie, do you remember the beginning where he gets to Planet Gore and everybody meets him?
Cabot. Cabot. It's like the word Cabot
It's Cabot. Cabot.
for like 10 minutes.
Cabot.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that anybody says. Cabot.
They use the word, I kid you not, I looked this up on IMDb trivia. In the first 10 minutes of the film, they use the word Cabot 117 times.
That's more times than they say Rose at the end of Titanic, which is hard to do.
Cabot! Oh, Cabot! It's so stupid and bad. And then he, like, also brings along a nutsack with him who is the worst. He's worse than Rob Schneider in Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Like, you want this comedy relief guy to die horribly. He sucks so fucking bad. But in the end, I really enjoyed this one. I hated the first one. I laughed my ass off at the Mystery Science Theater. A lot of shit happens in this movie. It's really stupid. I give it a thumbs up. On YouTube, I should say.
I thought Gore 2 was okay. I actually struggle with all the Gore movies. I feel like they have like this element that they almost reach that they never do, and I hold that against them. I think that they have like a little shining of brilliance in all of their aspects. Like the costumes are almost awesome, but then they betray themselves sometimes. The scenery is almost awesome, but then it doesn't quite make it all the way there. So it's like, I know they're bad movies, but I want them to be better, and so I hold that against them.
All right.
But I have watched pretty much all of them, so I can't say don't. I guess I liked it, so go ahead.
I wouldn't put the two that I've seen in the same class as Deathstalker by any means.
Oh, no.
But I still think that they're fun.
Yeah, they are.
Really, really bad movies.
And they only, I guess, because they're adapted from graphic novels.
Yeah.
And so they only, like, garner so much of the misogynism. They don't get all of it.
Huh. All right. Well, there you go. Sam, what have you brought us for the wild card?
Well, it's an odd one. You're going to do good neighbor, bad neighbor.
Okay. All right.
Now, it's buddy cop, good neighbor, bad neighbor. But you have to be the neighbors of these cops if they're roommates.
Okay. So they're the odd couple of cops.
And there's two pairs.
Okay. And you live across the hall, per se.
You are across the hall or next house.
Gotcha.
Riggs and Murtaugh.
Ooh. Oh, boy. Well, one's insane.
Yes.
The other
is insanely boring.
Is insanely boring and clearly in love with the other one. He also has a family. Murtaugh's got a pretty big family. Does that include the family?
I think with Murtaugh, what you've got is you've got Riggs living in Murtaugh's house and you live next door.
Okay, I could go for that.
No.
Already, huh?
No. Mel Gibson would be swimming in your pool, throwing rocks at your cat,
eating your food,
trying to hit on your teenage daughter.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, I don't know.
He always seemed like a nice house guest in the movies.
He's a very good house guest to the Murtaughs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but their bathroom got blown up. He almost got blown up on the shitter.
Well, that's, collateral damage from being the best cops ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, which means an explosion right next door, which means sewage everywhere.
It'd be exciting.
It would be exciting.
I don't like excitement. I don't like toilet excitement. It's like, oh.
I just watched my stupid neighbor because of the snow and their shenanigans across the street that I could write a Bible on. But these people are complete buffoons and morons. I stare out the window and watch them constantly, and it's not safe. They are a danger to society, my neighbors, and I am just hoping that my walls are thick enough to contain the blast that comes from them. I think I would do the same thing with Riggs and Murtaugh, the neighbors.
Murtaugh? Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
And they're a problem.
Oh,
but
certainly.
I would be glued to that window every day being like, oh boy.
Oh, they're doing something. You run to the window.
Yep. I would watch them constantly. It would be better than TV.
Yeah. Don't need a TV with them as your neighbors.
I'm going to say good neighbors.
All right.
Bad neighbor.
Oh, I'll tie break it, and I'm going to go with the TV angle. I just got to see what happens. Now, this one is a little different because it's Jack Cates and Reggie Hammond from Another 48 Hours or from 48 Hours or Another 48 Hours, the series of films. Even though one of them's in prison, they're out and they're rooming together. This one, I would say that you're in an apartment across the hall.
With these two, yeah.
Yeah, you're in an apartment across the hall from Jack Cates and Reggie Hammond.
Okay, one, he just got out of prison.
Right.
That can't be a good thing.
No.
And immediately when you're like, oh, you've been in prison for a while, you're like, I'm going to lock up my valuables in my parents' house.
One of them's a shitty Gary Busey. An Academy Award winning Gary
Yeah.
Busey.
But although if I was desperate
and not very good looking, and he had just gotten out of prison, they might be the best neighbors ever.
Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy are dreamy to you?
No,
Those
because
are
if
frogmen.
I said if you were desperate
You'd have to be
and
pretty
not
desperate.
very good looking, you'd be like, you know what? I might be able to get my yearly fix.
I think that these guys don't live well.
No.
I think that they live quite badly. I'm thinking like Fred Williamson.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like Fred Williamson's character in all those films where he doesn't wear any pants when he hangs around his
Dakota?
apartment. Yeah, Dakota. Just beer cans, old pizza boxes, dirt, rats maybe even, which means that you don't live in a nice place either.
Yeah.
Which is no fault of theirs, but I don't want to put myself in that situation. I think that they're bad neighbors.
I think they're going to be among the worst neighbors.
Yeah.
I'm split. If I'm a desperate chick, I'm
Oh.
in. If I'm not desperate, I don't want to be there.
You could just go to the bar and be like, hey, boys.
Hey, you know what, though? Sometimes the bar doesn't work.
When you say, hey, boys.
Just in the hallway with Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, it's so much easier just to do it that way.
On their top of their pizza boxes.
So,
Gross.
so you then become the cop in Tango and Cash that just goes, three-way?
Any chance at a three-way?
Yes, if you're that desperate chick.
And they would
Yeah,
probably
right.
go for it, and that would be bad.
Oh, yeah. Total wobbly H between those guys.
Yeah.
Switch.
God.
All right. So, good neighbors for Murtaugh
Murtaugh
and Riggs, and bad neighbors
for Cates and Hammond.
Yeah. All right, Sam. Well, why don't you tell us about odds and evens?
It's made in 1978. Carlo Pietersoli was still a member of the Italian national swim team and water polo team when he started his acting career around 1950. The younger Marco Garotti similarly was discovered around the same time as a child actor. The two would eventually muddle through bit parts and lower profile roles before the two were cast together in the 1967 Western God Forgives, I Don't.
Ooh.
Oh,
Nice title.
yes. Director Giuseppe Colizzi recommended,
Colizzi.
yeah, because two Z's is the hard Z with just like a T sound. Recommended the two adopt less Italian sounding names as Italian budget films were beginning to put quite a few butts in seats worldwide. Garotti would take the name Terrance Hill, and Pietersoli would assume the moniker of Bud Spencer. Garotti's was tasked with choosing names from a list, while Pietersoli came up with Bud Spencer as homage to Spencer Tracy and Budweiser beer.
All right.
Yep.
American things.
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm giving him a home run on that one.
I am Mickey McDonald's.
Yeah. Maybe he really likes Budweiser. It's like he looks like he drinks Budweiser.
Yeah, he probably drinks a bunch of Bud.
I would probably go with Justice Starbucks.
Starbucks.
If I was going to pick
I don't
like
think it's gonna
American
work.
stores, just
I
mash them
think
together.
Khaleesi would have said no.
I'm Macy Sears.
You could be Dillard's, Cole's Dillard.
Yeah, that actually isn't bad.
I'm Walmart T. McDonald's.
What's the T stand for? Target?
Yep. The two would go on to star with one another in over 20 buddy pictures. Though some films may be more well known, say Lethal Weapon or 48 Hours, which is where the thing came from. Oh, yeah. The heart and soul of the buddy film really lies with these two. These guys did it for almost 15 years. Only buddy pictures. They were in some movies independently. Terrance Hill's in quite a few movies independently.
Mm-hmm.
The Carbucci brothers are also significant in Italian film. Sergio is one of the more influential Italian directors, having done films such as the original Django, The Mercenary, Companeros, and The Great Silence, to name a few. Bruno, however, amassed a significant filmography as a director and writer in his own right. Many of the Spencer Hill productions are the products of the Corbucci brothers. This gem was directed by Sergio and written by Bruno, though the larger chunk of the Spencer Hill films are directed by Bruno and written by Sergio or Mario Amendola.
I'm confused.
Really?
No, I don't need a further explanation.
Okay.
Because it's just names.
Sergio Corbucci's the sort of ultra-violence in film.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the fathers of it.
Okay.
Whereas Bruno Corbucci is well known, but he wrote a lot of the Sergio pictures as well. Though the film features many actors, none of them are significant, with the exception of comedian Woody Woodbury, who plays the Admiral.
What about
Yeah.
Ricardo Pizzuti? But he's the most handsome one in this cast list.
No one's more handsome than Terrance Hill. He looks like Franco Nero.
All right, well, I'll be the judge of that when we
All
watch this
right.
movie, since I haven't seen it. I just looked at this cast list.
Okay.
That's right, I cheated this week. Looked up the
Oh.
cast list.
Oddly, this film won the Golden Screen Award, not to be confused with the Canadian Golden Screen Award, which was previously known as the Golden Reel Award. Little is known about this award, but the two previous winners were Close Encounters and Superman, placing this film in some real strange company.
That is odd.
Yeah. Lastly, let's keep an eye out for who's your favorite Furpo? You'll have 3 to choose from.
What's a
Furpa?
FERPA?
Furpo. That's their last name, Furpo.
Okay. All right.
Oh, okay.
What is the most outrageous idea? And I have to preface this. So to be more specific, of all the horse crap that they're feeding us, what stands out as the hardest to chew?
All right.
Okay.
That's going to be the thing to try to figure out. Because when you really, after you watch Odds and Evens, you're like, you start thinking about all of the scenarios that they're in, and you're like, this is completely ridiculous.
You're like, this is fucking retarded.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because they're from Boston now.
No, yeah.
No, that's from the Bronx.
Oh,
So, because, you know, like a lot of people
Nope.
immigrated
Yeah,
over
no.
to, okay, you know
Not at all.
what? I was just stretching it.
Yep. Quite a bit.
Yeah.
But you got to admit, that accent was okay compared to my British and my
Other
French.
than you couldn't tell what it was.
That's how they
and
talk.
totally wrong from your intentions.
Yeah. Other than that, it was great.
It was great. It was good enough to win a Golden Reel Award.
Yeah, the
for.
golden. No, not the golden reel. That one still happens.
Oh, the Golden
The Golden Screen Award
Okay, there you go.
is like it's fucking vaporware. I think.
See, I did
don't
as
know.
good a job with my joke as she did with her impression.
Ba-dun-ta.
Should win a yellow banana.
Oh.
The film is streaming someplace, Sam.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. All right, so if you got that, check it out. It's called Odds and Evens,
Yes.
and Sam says it's quite funny. So we'll see what happens. I'm nervous about it. But,
And, you know, based off the cover art that I saw when I peeked at the cast list,
Uh-huh.
it looked like it might be pretty fun.
all right. Well, we'll check it out, and Monday we'll talk about it. Enjoy your weekend. Try not to die, and get to the chopper.
Fans of Stinker Madness, iTunes thinks you don't like us. What? How is that possible? Well, it's because you haven't given us a review yet. Go to Stinker Madness on iTunes and take just a couple seconds to rate and review us there. While you're at it, hit up Stitcher.com as well. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter @/Stinker Madness and email us at talk@stinkermadness.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening and get to the chopper.
I've grimmed me up.
Grimmed up me Eddie Grundy's.
I've grimmed up me gruddy. Okay, here we go. I've grimmed up me Eddie Grundy's. I have.
Oh, one more time.
I've grimmed up.